Hi, it's Karen from Karen Britter Therapies. Today I wanted to talk to you about placebo and nocebo. Now, it has such a massive effect on how well therapy will work and also how generally your life will work, depending on if you're a placebo sort of mentality or a nocebo mentality. So placebo, most people have heard of placebo from sort of drug trials and everything, where some people are put on a sugar pill and some people are put on the actual medication that's being tested, and how often the people that are put on the sugar pill actually get better. And it's known as the placebo effect, because basically the person thinks they're on a drug trial and they think that a certain thing's going to happen from the drug, and lo and behold it does. But the opposite can happen, a nocebo, where you think something won't work, it won't work for you, and lo and behold it doesn't. And this can have a massive effect on, like I said, on therapy, but also on your life. Now, a placebo sort of effect is that self-belief. It's that belief that something will happen. And the nocebo effect is that self-doubt. They're doubting that anything would happen. It might have happened to other people, but it's not going to happen to me. They're not me. I can't see how that would work. There's all these sort of negative connotations that come in, and they can massively impact how you get on with, as I said, with therapy, but also in generally in life. And there's that famous quote from Henry Ford that whether you think you can or whether you can't, you're right. Which obviously is saying that whatever you believe, that will happen. And I like to give a couple of stories when I'm talking to clients and sort of talking to them about obviously pain and anxiety. I say to them about the self-belief and how you can talk yourself into things and talk yourself out of things. And there was an example that was given on one of my courses where two people with the same name were having tests at hospital, and one was given his results and he was told that he had terminal cancer and he had 3 months to live, and the other one was given his results and he was told he was all clear, and basically he was discharged and told to get on with his life. He was absolutely fine. And the one that had the bad prognosis, the bad diagnosis, ended up dying within a sort of short space of time of receiving his results. But when they did the post-mortem and they opened him up, there was nothing wrong with him. And they found out that they had both been given the wrong results. And the man that did actually have the terminal cancer left the hospital thinking he was totally okay, and went on to live a very healthy life. As I said, it was an example given in one of my courses, and I was just amazed by it. And there's another example that I give. I think it's on either Heal or it's on The Secret. But it's a man called the Miracle Man. He's an American man. He was in a bad plane crash and he survived, but he couldn't, I think he'd broken most of the bones in his body. He couldn't breathe on his own. He couldn't swallow on his own. And he was on life support machines. And they told him that he would be on a life support machine for the rest of his life. And he said that he laid there and he thought, that's not for me, that's not the life, that's not what I'm here for, that's not going to happen to me. And he told them through whatever communication that he could that he would walk out of that hospital by that Christmas, and there was a lots of sort of sideways glances and that from the hospital staff and everything. But he walked out of that hospital in the Christmas without any sort of help. I wouldn't have said he walked out healthily, but he walked out, and the prognosis was that he would never ever do that. But he had that belief. He had that belief that that's what would happen. And he's now a motivational speaker, and he goes all around the world talking about the power of placebo and the power of actually wanting something to happen and actually making it happen for yourself. So it's really, really important. And it's not just for these health things, it's for generally in life. If you have a more positive attitude, if you have a more positive outlook, your life will just go easier. If you look for how can I do things rather than how can I, how's that not going to work, it just makes life easier for you. And as I say on lots of my videos, whatever you focus on, your brain will bring. So if you look for solutions, your brain will help you to find for solutions. And if you look for ways that it couldn't possibly work, then your brain will bring those as well. So, you know, as you're going through life, just why would you make life more difficult for yourself than it needs to be? And, you know, as I've given the examples, it can actually make the difference between life and death, as to whether you have a positive outlook on life or whether you have a negative outlook on life. So wherever you can, just have a positive outlook. And, you know, if things feel like they're not going your way, you know, just think, right, this is just a phase, or even try and look for some positives in the midst of all those negatives that you're sort of seeing at the time. See if you can find some positives in there, and your life will just go easier. You'll be healthier and you'll be happier. So that's my take on placebo and nocebo even. And hope you found it informative. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.